What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel for another video. And in today's video, of course, we have the OG, the Toyota 4Runner. Actually, not the OG, the Mustang is, but probably the biggest vehicle on the channel would be the Toyota 4Runner that I've made a lot of videos on. The videos have lacked a little bit over since late September. I've been gone out of town for work. So if you're new to the channel, there's spurts here and there to where I don't post really anything whatsoever because just don't really have time to get content. But we're back. I'm back. Got some money to spend on this thing. Just bought the Corbeau seats while I was gone. I placed an order. So right when I was gone, it took a couple weeks to kind of get these the Corbeau Trail Cats to have a little customization done to it. So let's go ahead and talk about the next steps that I want to do to this thing. So we're gonna start in the back of this. Don't mind the mess here, but I've talked about how cool this thing is right here. This is a charger where I just use it for basically like if anybody's riding with me, they can charge their phone. I use it to charge my headphones, and it charges to 80% in about 30 minutes. I have a different version of it actually from TEQ Customs. It's a little easier to use. My biggest complaint is I actually don't even want to unplug these, but when you do, it kind of makes it a little bit of a headache to go ahead, and this thing slides down. So this is probably like 10-15 bucks off Amazon. The bracket itself is really good. That's from Snowbound Customs, so it's right around about 40 bucks. Good little investment if you don't smoke or anything. I don't, so figured I could help the passengers out with that. So they're not lighting cigarettes or lighting their phones. Never mind, that's dumb. But let's go ahead and talk about these seats. So I talked about in a recent video before I left to go out of town for work that I was replacing these seats. So I'm going to take the factory seats out. I won't get rid of them. I'm going to keep the factory rear seats the way that they are. I'm not going to put a cover over them at all or anything like that. They're in great condition, so it's going to stay like that. Nothing's going to go over it. So I'm going to get rid of these seat covers, the rough country seat covers. So little cheat code or hack. I saw before I got these, I had the Carhartt ones. The duck canvas ones, just didn't really care for them as much. They held up. There's no issue or anything with that. I just kind of didn't like them over time. So what I did was I found that somebody on one of the forums or the Facebook groups bought these, I think the newest generation, like 2015 and up Toyota Tacoma seat covers, the rough country ones right here, and they were able to fit them on the 4Runner. As you can see, this one's kind of pretty worn in to where it's hugging the seat. It's not like the passenger one. You can see it's a little more, the bolster's out a little bit. That's because, no one is sitting in that one as much as I am for the driver's seat. But they've held up. They do the great job. So I'm actually going to get rid of them. So we're going to move on to the Corbeau. I don't even know why I keep pronouncing that wrong. The Corbeau Trail Cat seats. They're not like a sports seat. They're more of a luxury seat in a way. More, any aftermarket seat like that, you're going to get that reclines or a bucket seat, like Sparco, Brom, Cypher Racing, for examples. Those are the ones I've had in the Mustang before. They're going to be comfortable to a certain extent, but I feel like the Trail Cat seats are more of, an off-road or SUV truck, kind of like if you're, redoing a 90s Bronco or something, or one of the 70s Broncos, and you want a pretty good seat that's comfortable for longer trips to put in, that's what you're going to do. So I looked at the Trail Cat. I've seen a lot of YouTube videos talking about them, that they hold up. They're really good. I've only seen a few complaints, but I think that's just kind of with anything, especially like a massive company like Corbeau. So we're going to replace them with those and see how they hold up. Like I said, I'm going to hold on to the factory seats. They were delivered yesterday, so I have the seats. I have the seat brackets that Corbeau sells, so it's going to go with it. My only fear is that I'm 6'2", so kind of, I try to sit comfortably in these seats or whatever, but I don't want it to raise me up a little bit, I guess. When you sit in it, I don't want to feel taller than I already am in this vehicle. So hopefully that doesn't do it. That was my biggest worry on that. So, but from what I've seen, people haven't really had that issue. So the custom things that I got done to it were they have like a little air pump that I've actually seen people take factory seats at like Cadillacs and stuff, or maybe it might have been like a Denali or something, on a Tahoe or GMC or whatever. and they installed the Corbo one. So I didn't even know that they sell them separately, that you can do that to already pre-made factory seats. So hopefully they're good if people are doing that. So it's going to give you the lumbar support. It's like a little pump that you pump it and kind of just, it's air pocketed. So I'm not that old, but you know, I was like, if I'm going to spend that much money, I might as well just, you know, add that option in. I didn't get the harness option. There's no point in that. This is not going to, you know, this is not a Baja, or it's not seeing the track or anything like that. So I didn't get that option. I didn't get the seat covers either. They have these like seat protector covers. To me, it kind of defeats the purpose of looking at the seat. The reason you get it, because it, you know, let's be honest, it does look like a pretty damn cool seat. So, but at the same time, you know, it's $100. I could always order one, at least for the driver's side, if it gets too bad. But these seats are expensive. I paid $1,700 for these seats. And, you know, when you're modding vehicles, you're going to pay. So the other thing that I'm really, really hyped about is the seat warmers. So that's, I guess we'll just go back into the vehicle. It's not my biggest problem, but so how the radio here has the Apple CarPlay, obviously this is not factory. So I was thinking maybe have one drilled here, drilling through the center console, and then maybe having one on this side right here for the seat warmers, because I got the driver and passenger side. That's probably what took the longest to get them installed and shipped out. But so my idea would probably to have it maybe here, or maybe just, I want it to look clean as possible. You know, I don't want a bunch of crap all over the place. So I was thinking maybe just like that. This stuff, you can find them all over the internet if something happens. So, but at least have it where it's not in the way of shifting. Obviously this is not a manual, but to have it look clean. But I thought about maybe having like right here, put it right there, put it right there, but it would probably just be easier to have it mounted right there. Like one for here, but where the passenger doesn't have to reach all the way over to the driver's side and my side to have that, you know, click it on or anything like that. So that's what I was thinking about doing. So those are the things going on with this, the 4Runner itself. And then the last thing that I want to do is the supercharger. I will get around to that. Just obviously I want to take my time, not dump all my money into something like that. But, you know, the biggest plan obviously is to get this thing with the supercharger, because it lacks the speed, it lacks the torque. This is the only downside to these vehicles, but they will last. This is the great thing about them. They're very sought after. So it's a really, really good looking SUV. I love it. I wouldn't get rid of this thing for really nothing at all. But those are the plans for the 4Runner. Have the seats. I have the other part for that little charge that I'm going to swap out, just to have it swapped out, and the grill lights fixed. But I have all that stuff in the back of the trunk. This thing does really, really well on road trips and everything. And I think the best mod that I have, my favorite mod to this vehicle that I had done right before I left, like 2 days before I left, is the drone mobile app, or CompuStar, Remote Start. And I made a video talking about that. It just kind of helps out, especially because I was in like the Pittsburgh area of Rochester, Pennsylvania. So you're in the city, you can locate your car, you can start it. It was cold out there. You have, you know, hopefully the seat warmers. I'll be able to do that with, you know, with this on the app. Start it, and it warms the vehicle up. You don't have to worry about anything like that. And then you can unlock it and lock it from your phone as well, just in case, you know, want to double check whatever. Let you know where your vehicle is. Kind of just monitoring all of that. So the remote start is something I highly recommend on older vehicles. So probably newer vehicles have them, but there you go. That's what the update for the 4Runner is, guys. I have some stuff that I'm doing to the Mustang as well, so I will make a separate video about that. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up. You know, subscribe if you're interested in any of the projects that I have and future stuff that just will randomly come to the channel. Other than that, guys, I will see you in the next video. Y'all have a good one.